Okay, just a few pointers on the sword. Whenever you're cutting, it's important to realize that the left hand provides most of the power for the cut, and the right hand provides the guidance. Often I see people equally putting the power in both hands or the right hand, and the sword just does not behave properly. So, from this position, when you lift the sword to high position, the left hand, and if you notice my elbow is not like this, it's like that, providing you have a proper grip on the sword, which I'm not going to get into right now. If you notice also, I'm not doing this, I'm doing this. But at any rate, when you drop the sword or cut, it's the left hand that's providing 70% of the power and the right hand 30%. And the right hand guides the sword. So that's pretty much how it should look. It gives it a certain quality. Also, as the sword stops, there is this thing called shibori, which means wringing the sword. Okay? So what wringing the sword is, as the sword reaches contact with your target, or as it cuts through the target, you want your pinky or little finger and ring finger to grip the sword a little bit tighter, and your thumb rotates inwards and with a slight push, so it sort of looks like that. Okay, that stabilizes the cut and doesn't allow the sword to bounce all over the target. Because often you see people cut and then you see this sort of thing, rather than the sword just stops. So it's important to keep in mind some of those points. Also, again, in the way I teach it, the sword articulates on the pinky, and the index finger, like you want to hit yourself in the head, and it's pushed up. And then to cut, the sword drops. You relax your chest muscles, you drop your elbow, and you allow the sword to simply roll forward as you apply shibori, and then you come back to middle position. Okay? So these are just some of the things that would help you to execute a good cut. Also, where the sword is in high position, some schools do straight up, some schools do, well, it's actually, with the sword in high position, it's actually not this, but your elbows nice and relaxed. The sword is 30 to 45 degree back. Not here, okay, or here. It should be natural. What I tell my students is, imagine that you're in a prayer position and you do this. So that's a good metaphor for how you use the sword. So it's like this and like that. Okay?